The last part of the FITT principle is T for type. So what does that mean? Well, type simply means what exercise you're doing. When we're talking about cardiovascular exercise, it's like running, biking, stair climbing, or the Zumba class that you want to take this afternoon. Any of that counts. Now, remember the principle of specificity. If you want to be good at something, you need to do that thing. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what type of cardiovascular activity you do, it all trains your cardiovascular system. Now, with resistance exercise, it's a little different. It's going to involve the movement that we're doing, the type of resistance we're using, like dumbbells, barbell, body weight, elastic bands, any of that counts. It could even get into how fast you're moving. So let's make this a little bit more simple and simply talk about the movement that we're going to do. And we want to choose a series of movements that utilize all of our major muscle groups. And a squat push-pull plan works pretty well. Let's explain what that means. Squatting is any exercise where you use your hips, knees, and ankles together in a movement where you're basically sitting down and standing up or using those similar types of movements. We can see 4 different types of squats here. These utilize all of the muscle groups from your waist on down. Pulling is any movement where you're bringing your hands from a position away from your torso towards your torso using your elbows and shoulders. This type of movement utilizes all the muscles in your back as well as your biceps. We can see 4 different types of pulling movements here. A pushing movement is in the opposite direction, where you're moving your hands from a position close to your torso to a position away from your torso in order to lift the weight. You can see 4 different types of pushing movements here, and pushing movements utilize your chest, your shoulders, and the muscle in the back of your arms called your triceps. You may also want to consider to do another exercise for your torso, your abdominals and your lower back. And here's 5 examples of some different types of torso exercises that you can use. So the squat, push, pull method, especially if you include the torso, combination works every muscle in your body. The squats work all of your leg muscles, the pull work your back and your biceps, the push works your chest, shoulders, and triceps, and of course the torso exercise works your abdominals and lower back. To review what we've talked about this spring, we're going to put that FITT principle into practice. With cardiovascular exercise, we want to choose an activity that we like, try to do it at least 3 days a week to start for a minimum of 10 minutes, and then we want to start at a manageable level, 4 out of a 0 to 10 scale, somewhere where you could exercise and still continue to talk. We then want to progress up to 30 minutes at a time, up to 5 days a week if we can fit it into our schedule. And at that point, then we can talk about maybe making that exercise a little harder, working up to maybe as high as a 7 out of 10. With resistance exercise, we want to choose at least 1 exercise out of each category, squat, push, and pull. We want to start with 2 days a week and 1 set for each of those exercises. And then start with a weight that you can just do 8 to 15 times. Now, if you can do more than 15 repetitions with that weight, you know it's time to move that weight up. And that's what we want to do with the progression. We could also progress to 2 or 3 sets, or we can also consider adding in a 3rd day or maybe some additional exercises, but we never want to do more than 12 sets per week for any particular muscle group. We haven't talked a lot about flexibility, but it follows the FITT VP principle. Choose stretches for each of your major muscle groups. These are 3 great ones right here that you could do. Hold them at a point of slight discomfort, not pain, and hold each for 10 to 30 seconds. You could do it anywhere between 3 to 7 days a week. More days a week, the better. And you progress by simply maintaining that point of slight discomfort as you get more flexible. That completes our series on training. If you need help with your training program, call the health centers. Our health coaches can help you with an exercise program, show you the exercises to do in a proper fashion, and make sure you know how to progress. So give them a call today and get that program started this summer.